Ina mana, ina waka, ina reo, I rau rangatirama, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora everyone, ko Kerry Topp Ingoa. Welcome, my name is Kerry Topp. This is the fourth of 4inSights sessions that we've had to date. These are about unlocking the foresight and insight of digital experts to help accelerate your business and your digital aspirations. We are here today because we want to give you three insights in 10 minutes. It's that simple. And in fact, it gets even more simple than that, which is effectively that we have one thought leader who gives you three insights in 10 minutes. So that is the format, and we're going to wrap that up very quickly. So who are we going to hear from today? Well, we're blessed to have Liz Mcguire, who's the founder and director of 5 Points Digital, and prior to that, she was also the Chief Digital Officer at ANZ, amongst other things. Liz, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here.
Kia ora, Kerry. Thanks for having me. Yes, I used to run digital for ANZ, and now I help executives and boards with their digital transformation journeys. One of the things that I hear from boards and CEOs all the time is how do we prioritize our backlog for our digital transformation. So really happy to talk to you about that today.
And look, when we were bouncing this around, and look, I've been following Liz in terms of, since leaving ANZ and going out on her own because I've followed a similar journey. But there's a lot of like-mindedness around this, and one of the key areas that we've identified is prioritization within organisations, and the ripple that goes with your P&L if you don't have a strong sense of purpose and direction. So that is what has drawn us in the intrigue. So question one, Liz, we're going to rip straight into it. How do business leaders stay clear on their business transformation roadmap?
So let's bring up then this prioritization trifecta, which, by the way, I've shamelessly stolen from IDEO because they call it the innovation trifecta, but it works for prioritization as well. And the first place to start with is with viability. I reckon this is the easiest one for you to do. And at a base level, it's why on earth does your organization need the project or the product feature or the product that you're working on? It might be improved revenue or improved cost. It might be customer or staff engagement. If you're a not-for-profit, it could well be about achieving the goals of your organization. It might be something really simple around compliance and regulation and keeping your senior leaders out of jail. So that's a good thing. But there's two things to note here. One is it's super important to have a really, really clear line of sight between what you're working on and the goals of your organization. Really, really important. Projects that are random and don't line up, they get killed really quickly. The second thing is it's 2020 and we should be thinking much more than just economic impact from a project. We should be thinking about the social, cultural, intergenerational. I know this is really close to your heart, Kerry.
It is, yeah, environmental, etc. Yeah. And how many organisations are you seeing doing that well?
I think a lot of them are still on the short term, economic, and it's just, I think it's too short term for where the world is going.
Mm. But lots of opportunity in there around viability of other offerings and products, given kind of where customers are at, which might be a nice segue into our next question, which is around question two. So where does the customer fit into the picture, and can you give us a specific example?
So this is our desirability circle. What is it that customers actually want? And there's two real key considerations here, I think. The first one is what I like to call, are you wallpapering the living room while the hallway's on fire? Is there a big customer pain point that you are just happily ignoring and you're delivering some shiny new digital things? If you are doing that, you will just be annoying your customers. Just think about all the times that Twitter puts out feature improvements and everybody tweets, that's all very well, but could we please have an edit button? It's really, really important. The second thing is being really, really mindful around what you're producing, whether it's actually going to make life better for a customer. And better might be faster, it might be cheaper, it might be more convenient. If you want somebody to use your new feature, they have to be able to they have to change their behavior, and to do that it's got to be better. And again, there's that societal environmental impact. From an ethical perspective, your digital tools should make your customers better off when they are using it and after they've used it as well.
And there's a time horizon that goes with that, right? That we have the saying around being a good ancestor as an organisation and as leaders, right? And so, but that also raises a question about, broader stakeholdership, and your customers are not only customers, they might be society and community. They're also tangata whenua potentially. They might even be other communities. And so, how are you working out where they are, and how do you ensure relevance for them? So broader stakeholdership. So
it's way more than just, hey, this person's just going to use this product once and that's all they're thinking about.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, awesome. So look, question 3, final question. Do you have a hope in hell of delivering this transformation as a transformational leader? And do you have any tips or tricks to really help business leaders?
Well, and see, this is probably the most important out of our lovely trifecta, because you might have something that is great for your organisation and great for your customers, but if you don't have the actual ability to be able to deliver it, then you're kissing your project goodbye. And it's really about building trust and credibility. At the beginning of a project, you do not need to know the answers to everything, but you absolutely need to know the questions that you need to be able to answer. So it's almost like conscious incompetence. And if you can say to your teams, and I've said this to my teams before in the past, well, hey, we don't know the answer to A, B, and C yet, but it's a bit cloudy, it's a bit foggy, but we are going to get those answers, and this is how we're going to go about doing it. Then you're building trust, you're building credibility within your teams and within your organization, that actually you're going to be able to do the things that you say you are going to do. Without that trust and credibility, projects get killed really, really easily.
Yeah. And look, in terms of, a shameless plug opportunity, part of what got us to this point in terms of getting conversation going in the 4inSights session was I was intrigued by what I read. And look, I would recommend people have a read of this. Do you want to talk about what you're doing?
Thank you for the plug. So every week I write a newsletter every Wednesday morning, which is help for digital transformation leaders. And so it's dealing with all the common issues that if you're leading or you're working on a digital transformation program, I think you find that hopefully my newsletter each week is helpful. And so you can subscribe, get it straight to your inbox at 5points.co.nz.
Awesome, cool. Hey, look, in terms of just summarising what we heard today, the first thing was the importance of organisational goals and being aligned with those. And in Māori, that's called kotahitanga, which is really that we're all in the waka together. And how many organisations have you gone into where you've seen that actually the waka's not one waka? It's actually multiple, and they're all competing for the same thing. And those organisations that do well have a space in an area that they know that they're aligned to. And what that means is that you need to take some time to explain to the P&L the role that they play in servicing the greater vision. And I was blessed to work at Air New Zealand, where I think we got that really, really tightly well in terms of the area that we worked in. And how do you help people positively and meaningfully connect to that daily? So that was one insight that I got out of this, Liz. The second one is really take time to understand your business has a social, environmental and cultural viability kind of challenge. It's not just an economic viability challenge, particularly in the world that is burning, i.e. environment, but also pandemic. And the third one is do your homework, know your organisational strategy, and know your customer and stakeholder pain points. Because as you said rightfully, if there's pain and there's fire going on for your customers and you're trying to solve something else, it's kind of moot and you're not relevant, right? So really work on the topical stuff. So hopefully I've captured that reasonably well, Liz, based on our feedback.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to chat.
Yeah, no, awesome. And look, thank you. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. That is it. Kei runga noa atu, which means onwards and upwards, as always. Stay tuned. We're going to have another session. This one's going to really look at what do customers want? What do they really, really want, to use a bad song from the past? And on the 12th of November, Liz, and so we'll release that into market on the 12th of November. So stay tuned for that. From us, Liz and I, ka kite anō, take care, ke rongaro atu, onwards and upwards.